Hello guys, welcome back to my channel once again. Thank you so much for joining me. In this tutorial we are going to learn how to create the FIFA 2022 World Cup logo. As you can see right here, a lot of people have been asking me how it's done and how they were able to do it. So without wasting much time, let's go back into it and see how it's done. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you're already an existing subscriber, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope as always you learned something from this. So to begin with, we are just going to take this logo aside, and then we will create a new one from here on. Okay, so come back to our channel, and then what we are going to do is we're going to get 6 horizontal lines. Okay, we're going to get 6 horizontal lines to help us with our way forward. So we'll go for the pen tool and then draw our horizontal lines. Let me make them visible enough. Okay, so I'll click on Alt and then drag it down to make a duplicate of it, and then from there on I'll click on Ctrl+D to get 4 more. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. All right, so with these lines, this is where we are going to do our design from. Okay, so I will make it a guide. So I'll come to view, come down to guides, and then make guides. Okay, then I'll be left with 2 more steps to go. One, I would need another horizontal line, but this time I want it to be equidistant from the lines that I have already created. So what I'm going to do is to draw this rectangle in between so that it will give me the center line, and then I'll be able to draw the other line as well. Okay, all right, so after that I'll just delete the rectangle to the rectangle shape that I just created. Then I'll duplicate this line into the next middle line that I have. Okay, so one last step and then we are good to go is to get a vertical line. All right, so right now that we have our vertical lines in place, let me just lock them up so that they wouldn't be moving around when we are selecting objects and items from it. Okay, all right, so right now that they are all locked up, let me zoom in a little bit so that we would see exactly what we are working with. All right, so we'll pick our pen tool, and from the top here on the vertical line we'll click and then come down here and then draw the upper body of the logo. Okay, all right, okay, so now that the upper body of the logo has been drawn, the next thing we are going to do is to duplicate it. So as always, we'll click on Alt and then drag it down, holding Shift as well, so that it will give us a straight duplication to the bottom, and then we'll rotate it upside down just like so. Then from there we would reduce the size to the next line like so. So the next thing that we are going to do is to duplicate this bottom one as well. So what we are going to do is we'll move it up by clicking on Alt plus Shift, and then we drag it up. Okay, and then after that we would round it up again like this. Then we shift it down to meet the one at the bottom. Okay, all right, so once this is done, the next thing we will do is to select this one and then select this one and then fill it. You fill the both of them. So once that is done, the next thing we'll do is to use our shape builder to minus this particular inner part of the logo. Okay, so with that selected, we would go to the shape builder to select it, and then we would minus this. Okay, all right, so once that is done, the next thing that we are going to do is to pick the bottom part of it and then remove the outline and then make it a fill. Okay, so you can see that gradually our logo icon is beginning to take shape. So we'll pick this one, we go to edit, we copy, edit, and then we paste in front. Then after that, we'll reduce the size to this. Okay, so once that size has been reduced to this one, we would now apply our gradient. Okay, we'll now just apply our gradient just like so, and then we would duplicate this one by holding Alt and then Shift, and then move it upwards to the upper part of the logo. Then after that, we would also rotate it upside down. So after that, the next thing that we are going to do is to reflect it. Okay, you see that the gradient is here, so we want it on this side. So we'll go to Object, Transform, and then we reflect it. Click on OK. What it's going to help us to do is to get the shape of the inner part of the logo. Okay, so with this one selected, let's select the bottom first, then we'll shift it to the edge of the logo like this, and then bring it down. Okay, and then bring it down just like so, up to the point where we are comfortable with. Okay, and then we'll just round it, then pick this one and then round it as well. Good. So right now that we are done with this particular point, let's move up to the upper part of it. So we'll select this one as well, and this time around we would also enlarge it. Okay, and then what we'll do is bring it to the edge of this point here as well. Okay, and then we would also bring it up and then let it align directly. So let's use the direct selection tool so that it will help us to properly align. So we'll bring it closer to the bottom here, and then we'll try and align this one here as well, just like so. All right, and then we would round the upper part of it. Okay, so once this is done, the next thing that we are going to do is to select all of it and then expunge the gradient that is covering the inner part of it. Okay, so we'll go for the shape builder tool and then expunge the inner part. Okay, all right, so right now that we have had it like this, you see that the logo is now taking shape. So the next thing we'll do is to reduce the opacity of the gradient. Okay, so you select both gradient and then you reduce the opacity to 50. Okay, all right, so you see that our logo is now taking shape. The next best thing we can do, the next thing that we'll need to do is to round the top and then round the side as well. Good. So now that we have been able to create our logo, the next thing that we are going to do is to add our pattern. Okay, so if you check the original one, at the lower bottom here you see that there's a pattern that you need to add or put in place so that it will be complete. So let's go back to that one and then do that. But in the meantime, let me just remove these lines from there so that we'll be able to get a clearer picture of what we are trying to work with here. Okay, all right, so let me just go back to view guides. Let me select these ones, go back to view guides, and then release guides. Then after that, just delete them. Okay, so let me unlock these ones. Let me select these ones and then delete them as well. All right, so now we have our logo almost done, but like I said, we need to put in our details so that it would look exactly like the one we see on TV and everything. So I've already created a pattern, so I'll just go to my symbols panel, get a symbol, and then drag it in. Okay, so from here we'll just increase the size. All right, and then go to object, expand. All right, then after that we would now try and adjust it so that it will be able to fit in the profile that we are working with. Okay, all right, okay, all right. So with holding on Alt and then dragging it, we duplicate it, and then we turn it around a little bit like so, reduce the size a little bit so that we will get the bottom part of the pattern as well. Okay, all right, so let me just push this one up a little bit. Good. All right, so with this one also in place, let's get rid of the excess part of it from the logo. Okay, so with that one selected, I'll select this pattern, select that pattern, and then with the shape builder tool, okay, I'll just come in and then take out all of the ones that are not necessary around the edges. Okay, I'll take them all out. Right, sometimes you need to get closer to it so that you make sure that there are no excesses left around. Okay, so I'll do same thing to this side, shape builder tool, and then I'll remove all of those excesses that are not needed. All right, so our logo is gradually taking shape. As you can see, we have it almost like we always see on TV. We are left with the football on top here, and then the two square that engulf it. So let's quickly create the football, bring it in here, and then we are almost through. So come to the shape builders, the two panel, select the ellipse tool, and then with Alt and then Shift, I create a perfect circle. I would copy, edit, copy, and then edit, paste in front to create a new circle, reduce it a bit, and then change the color of that to, let's say, black or brown, and then convert it to a stroke. Now what I'm going to do is I want to create the shapes out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the polygon tool, and then because it's 5, I'll make it 5, and then convert it to a fill, and then I'll position it at the center. Okay, position it at the center of the circle. Then what I'll do is I'll copy, Alt and hold, copy it. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll need to position it such that it's equal, it's facing, so you see that this side of it is facing this side of the inner circle polygon that I just created. Okay, so I'll just punch it in a little bit like so. Good. Then after that, I would want to rotate this around it to create one for each side of it. Okay, so I'll select this one, pick the rotation tool, and you see it's giving me the center of rotation, but I want that center of rotation. Oh, hold on a minute. I want that center of rotation at the center of the circle, okay, so that I'll be able to rotate. So I'll be able to rotate the polygon just around the center of the circle. Okay, so I'll click on Alt and then drag it to rotate it to this side. Once I am okay and comfortable with how it has appeared, I would release and then continue by clicking Ctrl D to duplicate it 4 times for me, in addition to the other one, making 5. So right now that I have been able to do that, I'll select all the 5. I'll select all the 5 polygons together with the circle. Okay, and then I'll use the shape builder to carve out the excesses that is at the back, and then I'll take off the inner circle. I don't think we need it again. Alright, so once that is done, now I'm going to use this one to create the ball. So I'll select all of them, again use the shape builder tool, and then expunge the holes in the ball like Ctrl Z, like so. Anytime you are working and then you accidentally delete something, you just click on Ctrl Z and then it will bring the item back to you. Okay, all right, so now our football is created. Let me just change the color to the background color, reduce it a bit, and then bring it into play, bring it directly into our logo. Okay, all right, so right now that we have this, the next thing we'll do is just get our square boxes around it, and then I believe we are done. Okay, so let me just bring it in like so, bring it here like we always do. Alt plus D, Alt plus drag, sorry, and then it will duplicate it for us. Okay, so as you can see, we are done with the logo design. It looks so simple, very beautiful as well. Let me know who you think would win the World Cup this particular year in Qatar. Let me know what you think of the ongoing FIFA World Cup. All right, so let's just now attribute the logo to the Qatar World Cup as well. So we'll just pick our text tool and then type in our FIFA World Cup. Okay, as you can tell, I have already downloaded the Qatar font, so that's what I'm using to do this. So QATAR Qatar 2022. All right, but there's a catch. You can see that when they are writing the Qatar, sometimes they stretch it between the T and then the A. There is this long stretch before they write the A and then the R. So let's try and see if we can attempt to get that also done, right? Of course, we are designing the FIFA 2022 World Cup logo, so we need to get some things right. All right, so we just duplicate it, click on this one, go to object, and then expand everything. Then after that, we go to object, and then we ungroup everything as well. So now we can put the 2022 aside and then deal with the T and then the A. Okay, all right, so I think this distance is okay. Then we zoom in closer, and the next thing we'll do is to draw a rectangle to connect the T and then the A. Okay, so just like so, just like so. All right, hopefully it works out good. Okay, so right now the next thing we just do is to merge it all together. Okay, so merge it all together like this, and then there we have it. We've written the way they used to write it. Qatar 2022. Qatar is a beautiful place. Hopefully one day I'll be able to visit the place. All right, so now we have our Qatar 2022 beautifully written. So let's now just get this one out of the way and then go with this one. All right. Okay, so now we just need to write the FIFA World Cup and then that's it. We are done. Okay, so with a type to select it and then write FIFA caps lock FIFA World Cup. I want to use the Arial, but I want to use the bold or the black. Yeah, Arial black. All right, so finally we are done. Let me just position it up here. Make it white, and there you go. We have designed the FIFA 2022 official logo. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the processes and then you learned one or two things that is used to design this particular logo. Thank you so much for joining me on this particular one. I hope you learned something new. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed to this channel, thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the very next one. Until then, take care. Bye bye.